Hello and welcome back to Hands-On Coaching. My name is Deb Hann and I'm coming to you this week with a really relevant message for anybody who's in the startup game. And I don't mean startup business-wise, I mean startup anything. Think about any goal that you have maybe thought about achieving, from a life goal to a business goal, anything in between. And you've had the great idea and then gone, but I don't know how. Or, I don't have what I need to start. That's what today's about, starting from scratch. So I want to share with you 3 really simple tips that can help you get started. And as an example, the best example I can give you is myself. Today, I'm going to walk my talk. And I'm going to take you through my startup exercise with my YouTube adventure, because it may be something of a surprise to know that I'm not in a fancy studio, that I don't have a fancy camera, I don't have magnificent lighting, I don't even have an editing tool, but I'm starting with what is in my hands, and that's the piece that I most want to affirm to you today. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into my video presentation. And as part of that, I'm going to talk you through my process, right? Because first and foremost, as I said, no fancy equipment, right? My recording platform is Zoom. I'm just recording on my Zoom tool. It's a resource that I have in my hands. And please keep this in mind. I'll reinforce this as we go through. The resource I have in my hand is Zoom. I use Zoom a lot because I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with people all over the globe. That's a wonderful thing about this platform. We don't have to live in the same neighborhood. You know, the world's getting smaller, beautiful people. It's a great deal, right? But I could do the same thing with Skype. You might have Skype. I could do the same thing maybe with FaceTime or GoToMeeting. There's a myriad of platforms now that facilitate this whole face-to-face thing. I use Zoom because I'm familiar with it, I understand it, and I can use it. And most importantly, I can record it, okay? So I create this video, by recording what I'm doing, and I upload it to YouTube. It's as simple as that. From an editing perspective, I don't have an editing tool. I don't know how to edit. So I just get a little bit, clever, I suppose. Might even be a bit daggy, I don't know. But when I go to share an image other than this face, I just hit pause. So ordinarily, I'm going to do this now, all right? So ordinarily, I would hit pause in the recording and flip into sharing my screens. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to keep recording while I go into my share screen, just so you can see part of the process. It's what I do. So I'm hitting share now, and I'm going to I'm just going to go to my PowerPoint. See, again, humble PowerPoint presentation is all I'm going to share with you. So that's what I'm actually using as part of my, hang on a moment, it's just being awkward. There we go, wickety whack. A humble PowerPoint presentation becomes the presentation. I'm just going to minimize my image up there in the top. Here we go. So this is it. This is my presentation to you today, team. How to get started on your goals when you don't know how. And so, like I said, I just use my experience in relation to this. And maybe not just in relation to this, I'm just using this experience as my sort of talking to deal. What I'm going to share with you now is really what I'm practicing, what I preach, what I work through people with all the time. And it might sound really basic, but I promise you it works. So we can all say, just start. That's not overly helpful. So firstly, again, like I say, here we are on a humble little thing called PowerPoint. And I like to use Bitmoji quite a bit for, emojis and expression and so on. I have so much fun with Bitmojis. I should probably grow up, but, why start now? But I share this resource with you. It's a free resource, and I love the fact that there seems to be a Bitmoji for every circumstance and situation, and you can make them really image who you are or who you desire to be. Just because I do have brown hair and green eyes doesn't mean, if I wanted to have blonde hair and blue eyes, I could have easily done it out to be like that. I could have changed the color of my skin. I could have done whatever I wanted to do. So you can do the same thing with Bitmoji. Have fun with it. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. And no, this is not an ad for Bitmoji. It's just me sharing my resources with you. Okay, so let's get started with some goal sharing, all right? So step one, first and foremost, and you have probably heard this before, and I forgive you if you've heard it before, I'm going, oh, yeah, but I don't need to do that. I really don't. Yeah, you do. Make your goal visible, whatever it is that you desire to do. I don't care if you write it out, draw it out, vision board it out, mud map it out, whatever. Just do something that captures your thinking, right? Make it visible to yourself. Something magical happens from a neuroscience perspective. We activate a certain, and look, there are a myriad of studies that have been done around this. You don't have to take my word for it. If you choose not to, you can go and research it and study it. But we know that when you actually get your goals down, when you write things out, when you draw things out, something happens in our brain that gets the juices starting, all right? And it's quite fascinating when I talk about this. I'm not saying that you need to go out and get yourself a fancy journal, or you need to have the latest app to capture your visions and your goals on, or you need to have a certain kind of pencil to write with, or a certain anything. You use the resources that are in your hand. If all you have is a daggy old, scrap piece of paper to write on, then do that. That's completely fine. Some amazing things have been realized from just using what's at hand. It might surprise you to know that Toy Story, you might know the movie Toy Story that Pixar released quite a number of years ago now. This would be close to 20 years ago, maybe even more than that. In fact, I think it is. I think it might be 25 years since the very first Toy Story came out. But that was realized over coffee in a cafe, and it was majorly storyboarded on serviettes. True story, right? How many songs have been written out on serviettes, on toilet paper even? So that might sound odd, but it's so very, very true, right? So there are many things that have been realized by what's available at the time that inspirational spark pops into your brain. Now, you don't have to develop a movie or write a song or anything like that. It might be something a whole lot more simple than that. But nonetheless, invest in the time and the energy to get it down. I promise you that one simple step will energize you and keep you motivated and keep you focused on whatever steps need to happen as you progress. So just the fact that you've been able to capture your thinking, your imagination, your bright idea, is often all it takes to get you started. And this is why, just to give you a little bit into mindset piece, because if we do start where we're at, as in where you have the bright idea, right, you've got that down. The real power in getting that down is if, as I'm very confident as I make this statement, you are indeed human, right? If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, you're human. And all humans are born with a PhD in overcomplication. Because no sooner do we have one of these wonderful ideas, and if you've watched any of the Getting Connected videos that I've already done that really provide some kind of foundation around a lot of my coaching principles, as soon as we have that, genius idea, or what I would call a faith-fueled idea, finding answers in the heart, right? You've got this great piece you want to do, then up comes that fearful conversation that's designed to keep you small. And one of its greatest tricks is to make things seem really complicated and super hard and have you believe that you are not enough. It'll play upon all your insecurities. Yeah, well, I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I don't have enough. Oh, who would want it anyway? Oh, I'm just wasting my time, and a myriad of other conversations that play out in our mind. So the whole power in having your vision drawn up, mapped out, whatever, even in the basic of forms, it keeps you focused on what it is you want to do. And it's going to come into play momentarily, because the more you hone in on that, the more you get to remind yourself that, yeah, this is a good idea and it is worth doing. Damn straight it is. So there you are. Step one, you've mapped it out in whatever format. You've made your goal visible to you in some way, shape or form, in a way that speaks to you. And here's the deal. Step two centers around the piece that you know so much more than you give yourself credit to. And like I said before, we are born with a PhD in overcomplication. So step two is to keep it super simple. And yes, I said super simple. This is my version of the KISS principle. The KISS principle is more commonly known for another S word, which I think is probably one of the biggest swear words on the face of the planet. Way worse than one of those F&C bombs that gets dropped around the place. Yeah, I'm talking about that word, stupid. I really, really hate that word more than because it's so untrue. It's a really big lie, right? Keep it super simple. You've given birth to an awesome idea. Your brain has realized a great concept, no matter what it may be. And at that moment in time, sure, you may not have all the resources to realize what it is you want to do, but I promise you, you have the resources in your hand to get you started. So therein lies step two. Check your resources. Have a look at what you've done, right? See, the thing is, I'm not Spielberg. I'm not anybody else that has is known for movie making and so on. I don't know how to make fancy YouTube videos at this point in time, but I do have the resources to make simple, basic messages that I can put out into the world that I know can connect with people that, have a mission, have a goal, have a plan. That's my goal. My goal isn't to make some Oscar-winning, Emmy Award-winning, whatever, blah, blah, blah message. That's not what it's about. I don't need to make a complicated piece to get my message across. I just need to use the resources that are in my hand to let you know that you can do the same, okay? So check the resources that you already have at hand. I promise you, you can use what you have available to get you started, just like I have. Now, I'm also keen to recognize that I won't stay at this level. I will learn how to do, more, I was going to say more fancy. I'm not sure if that's particularly good English, but nonetheless, I'm into this whole one take, no fake deal right now. So, as and when is appropriate, I will upgrade my resources. I will upgrade my skills, but I will do that when and only when I understand what I am doing. And when I understand how that investment in that next resource is going to play out and add value to what it is that I'm already doing, okay? So, like I say, check your resources. I promise you, I absolutely promise you, you have what you need to already start. I have never worked with anybody in my formal years as a coach, and that's almost 20 years I've been doing. I've worked with a lot of people, beautiful people, on some pretty awesome projects and experiences. And what I can assure you is that every single person has had what they need to get started. And whether that be a humble computer and a simple PowerPoint presentation on a Zoom platform, or whether it is that they know somebody that they can turn to or reach to make something happen for them. We all have the connections, we all have the resources, we all have that ability to take that first step very, very quickly. And most importantly, we need to stay fueled with curiosity. The curiosity is the piece that's going to fuel our goal. It's curiosity that actually sparked your goal in the first place. So stay in that zone, because that, beautiful people, is what's going to activate your genius and set your genius at work. That's where your power lives. So step 3, get playful. Seriously, that's the coolest thing you can do with curiosity. Curiosity and playful, oh my goodness, they're like peas in a pod. They're like gorgeous little kittens and cute little puppies that like to roll around and have fun all the time. That's what they are. In fact, you know what, that playfulness, that's the stuff that people are watching on YouTube all the time. Goodness gracious me. All right, so there we are. We get curious and we allow our vision to evolve. So you might be familiar with, there's a gorgeous woman, I adore her actually within this coaching help industry, by the name of Marie Forleo. So she's got a Marie TV routine. She founded something called B School a few years ago, and has a highly successful YouTube presence. But that didn't happen for her overnight. There was a whole lot of planning that went into that, a whole lot of relationship building that went into that before she made this, burst onto the scene. Another gorgeous woman that I love on the YouTube scape is Adrienne Mishler, who you may or may not have heard of, but she has a yoga channel, Yoga with Adrienne. Same thing, she has something like 4 million followers and so on, and brings yoga into people's homes on a regular basis. It's like once a week she puts out a video, a free video for people. But again, didn't start out with this wonderful production that she has now and corporate sponsorship and so on. She started out with a humble mat in her lounge with a video camera, and that was how it started. And her vision has evolved and her resources have evolved over the course of time. The same is true with anything. I promise you, anything that looks like an overnight success story has a backstory that, goes way, way, way back, and probably a couple of sleepless nights and whatever else, but there's been planning and effort and so on and so forth. So allow your vision to evolve. You don't have to be a rock star overnight. It's just not the way it is. And ask questions. Like I say, honor your curiosity. Ask questions. Ask questions within your community that you want to serve. Ask questions from those that that know how to do what you desire to do. So find your mentors. Find the people that can really support you, encourage you, and be a word of encouragement and wisdom for you, so that you stay on track and you keep your goal in mind. You don't lose your intention. It may not turn out exactly as you started. In fact, it may supersede all of your wildest imaginations, especially when you follow into that pathway. And the most important thing around asking questions is to apply those learnings. If you ask questions and you get answers, use them, run with them, apply them, grow with them. That's where the magic happens. Okay? If you've got people that are invested in you in a way they want to contribute to your path and they want to teach you and encourage you, then run with that. The most powerful thing you can do is to honor their wisdom that they share with you. Very, very valuable stuff. So here's the piece that I absolutely promise you, beautiful people. The more you follow through with that activity, your goal will be on fire before you know it. You'll be blazing a trail of success and you'll be celebrating your success, and you will know way more than you know, and you'll be able to sit back at one point and go, oh, I had no idea that I actually knew what I was doing. So it can be, like I say, as simple as that. But the most important thing of all, as I come back to this screen now, so I'm going to stop sharing and just come back to vision. Hello. Right. Is to do it, is to follow through, to actually take that action. So again, I could have sat here and gone, oh, I wonder if I should even share this message. Oh, my hair's a bit not like this, and oh, I haven't got enough makeup on, or, you know, I could have all that worry and stuff going on. What if people think this is a really dinky thing to do? But my genuine hope is that you go, wow, yeah, maybe it is a bit dinky, but at least it's a start. It's a first step. It's something in a desired direction. So my goal ultimately is to continue to share with you simple, practical, applicable life and business tips that you can utilize in your everyday life, and ultimately grow that space, right? The more we shine, the more others shine. There are no shadows when everyone shines. You know that's how I do, right? Okay, so as always, subscribe if you desire. I will drop the Bitmoji app link into the comments below for you if you want to check that out. But more importantly, what I'd really like to hear from you is what else would you like to know about? You know, drop me some comments around some hints and tips that you might like to know more about that you can apply in your life and business going forward. So it's enough from me. Hand on heart and all of that gorgeous change. Just go live that beautiful faith-fueled life that you were born to live. Identify people you were born to serve. Keep being you, and until next time. Ciao for now, beautiful people. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Bye.